and adoration to him as always. And I will, of course, should I say, unfailingly pray in the language of heaven. Some may misunderstand, some of them may try to misconstrue, but one thing is certain right now, in the presence of the Almighty God, Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai in heaven, the angels are singing, worshiping, and praising the Most High with the very oldest language on the face of this very earth, the Igbo language. And that's how I'm going to pray. Ezi onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, Chukwu okike abịa ma bụ onye anyị na-efe na-agọzi aha nsọ ya, onye ọ bụla ya na-achị, onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-erubere isi, onye ọ bụla ya bụ ọka aka ụbọchị ndị ka anyị na-etu gị eze ebube dị ngọzi, mmalite na ọgwụgwụ, ndị Igbo wee tụọ gị ebighị ebi, onye nwe m, ụmụ gị wee gbakọọ n'ụwa niile iwe na ozi ọma nke gị onwe gị n'ezi ha site n'ọnụ mmadụ dị ndụ na nke ebere dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-asị na onwe ihe ọbụla ka anyị nwe anyị bụ n'ihi na ọ bụ anụkpa ahụ sọsọ ka mmadụ dị ndụ bụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ, maka na okwu nsọ gị na-adịghị ma ruo mgbe ebighị, n'ihi na okwu gị niile ga-abịarịrị na mmezu. Ọ bịa nwere Biafra ga-eji wee bịa na mgbe nke anyị wee na-akpọkụ wee na-arịọ gị na-asị lekwa ude nke anyị na-asụ n'akwa nke anyị na-edekọ metụta gị n'obi. Onye nwe m na Chineke nna nke igwe, biko dịka isi wee napụta ụmụ gị n'ọbụ n'Ijipt ocha wee wezụga ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra mgbe ekwensu bụ zuu nke mmadụ dị ndụ kere, anyị wee na-aja gị mma na-asị gị n'ime ọnọdụ anyị niile anyị ga-ekele ha nsọ gị, wee nye gị nsọpụrụ ụtọ na-eji ama mgbe niile, n'ihi na anyị nweghị ichi ọzọ ewezuga gị. Anyị nwe anyị anaghị efe arụsị. Ọbịa mere iji wee na-agọzi nsọgbụkwu anyị niile. Ọbịa mere IPOB ji wee gbaa ngwọrọgwụ n'ụwa niile. Anyị anaghị atụ egwu mmadụ dị ndụ. Anyị wee na-eto gị eze ebube dị ngọzi, sị gị biko gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye anyị na-efe nwanyị akpụ isi ala nye ka i wee napụta ndị gị n'ọbụ nke ekwensu. Anyị wee na-enye gị ofe na nsọpụrụ na ija mma, na-asị lekwa ka ndị iro anyị niile kakasịsi wee gbaa ha ọnụ, ha wee daa hapụrụ ikonye ọzọ obodo ekwensu bụ zu ala ọkwa n'ihi eze ebube dị ngọzi. Anya ọnwa anyị bụ ụmụ gị wee na-akpọkọ ha nsọ gị, na-asị na enweghị ichi ọzọ egwezuga gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị, na-asị onye kere ihe niile kere eke mana nwere onye kere na otuto niile na nsọpụrụ niile na ịja mma niile site n'ebighị mmadụ onye bi ka a na-arịọ gị. Ise ise ise. Having handed over our proceedings to heaven, we must therefore proceed unfailingly and very speedily to preach this very gospel that we have been mandated to preach.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much. And remember, in this channel, we speak about the plight of the people who have been oppressed in the contraption called Nigeria. The people who have been subjugated and been killed in the contraption called Nigeria. They are of different ethnic groups. They are of different religions. They are being killed by only one enemy who have said that we will not leave. They are the Fulani Janjaweed. They are killing innocent people indiscriminately in every angle, in every direction. It is not a mere hearsay. This is the truth and nothing but the truth. The media will always try to change the narrative, to paint it on different form. Sometimes they come out and tell us that everybody is a herdsman. We are not all herdsmen. We are not all herdsmen. The people who are herdsmen in Nigeria are the Fulanis. They are the Fulanis. Those are the people who are known as herdsmen. That is why they even have an organization called Mieti Allah that is sponsoring them in their killing and evil act. If you go about the killer herdsmen, they are Fulanis. The Boko Haram we are talking about are Fulanis. The bandits that have renamed today are Fulanis. The unknown gunmen that I've been talking about today still the same Fulanis. The government of the day, the terrorist government of Muhammad Buhari, is also a Fulani government. That is why they are supporting every evil that is happening in that very country by the Fulanis. The insecurity that we are talking about is caused by no one else than the Fulanis. And they are not ready to make any amends. They are not ready to change anything to make things work well. You can see, even when the governors in the southeastern part of the southern part of Nigeria have come together and said that they are going to enact a law on the open grazing to make sure that people do not take because of their cow to go and destroy other people's farm and kill them at the same time. Instead of government supporting this, the government have come upon them with a heavy hammer, refusing the stopping of this very open grazing. Even some governors in this northern part of Nigeria have embraced this very idea that it is better to stop open grazing in the 21st century. But you see these people still holding on it because of their wicked heart. Tell me, what has open grazing got to add to the life of the livestock and the life of the herders themselves? Open grazing has nothing to add. It does not make the cow grow stronger and bigger. It does not make the cow grow more, get more milk. It does not even help the herders themselves to live healthy. But yet, because of a secret agenda of the Fulanis, they are still imposing this very open grazing on the whole country. Talking about grazing routes, there was never any grazing route in the southern part of Nigeria, but these people are forcing it into the southern part of Nigeria. Even in the north, where there were grazing routes, some of the governors there are crying out that they do not want the open grazing. Ask me, why is the government of the day bent on talking about this open grazing and imposing it on people? This is the question you need to answer. When we say the government of the country, the government is the government of terrorists. You will not believe it. Someone have come on national television to speak about this. Still, Nigerians keep a deaf ear as if they don't know what is happening. A security officer, when I say security officer, not just another security, a secret insider, an insider, a top official came out to tell us that there are terrorist members in the government of Muhammad Buhari. They are in Asorock. They are governors, they are ministers in this present government. People thought it's a joke. When you see things unraveling, what is happening, now you begin to believe that what that man said is nothing but the truth. It is only a terrorist that will stand against the open grazing. The bill to ban open grazing. It is only a terrorist that will stand against it. It doesn't matter you are a governor, you are from the south, you are from the west, wherever you are from. If you stand against the ban of open grazing, that means you are a terrorist. So we don't have to be looking for those people who are terrorists secretly. They are in the open, defending open grazing. Speaking of open grazing, those are the terrorists we are talking about. Those are the terrorists they are giving us a hint about. The government have been hijacked by the terrorists. It is not a mere hearsay. It is not a propaganda. This is the truth and nothing but the truth. If you go to the media, you cannot hear what I'm saying. They will not tell you. That is why when you watch our video, share it to all platforms. Share it to everybody that needs to see it. Let them see and know exactly what is happening. You never can tell who is going to hear our voice. So that when we begin to act, they know that we spoke up. We said it. This is the situation. The media will never ever speak about it. They, instead of speaking about it and telling us the way it is, they will tell us that we are profiling the Fulanis. They will come and begin to talk about profiling Fulani. How can you talk about profiling Fulani when you know very well that these Fulanis are the ones perpetrating the evil? They are the ones killing the innocent people everywhere you can think about. Go and trace. Go and make an investigation. Why are you painting it in a different way? Why are you trying to change the narrative? Why? Why do you want to change the narrative? Instead of saying it the way it is. You cannot heal a sickness until when you identify the cause of an illness. There's no way you can fight against insecurity until you identify the cause of insecurity. The only cause of insecurity we see in Nigeria is the agenda of the Fulanis. They are the Fulanis. The agenda of fulanization and Islamization of that very contraption. That is why the country is insecure. They want to achieve their aim by force, by all means possible, by taking the land of the people by force. That is what they're doing on daily basis. And people are turning blind eye as if they're not seeing what is happening. But we will not stop talking. We will continue to say it the way it is. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how they try to hide. It doesn't matter under which name they are hiding. They can change their name from Elkin. We know that these people are a bunch of terrorists, including Mieti Allah. That of Mieti Allah is pronounced because most of the time when the killing is being done, Mieti Allah have come out open to claim. And a chief security officer of a state, a governor of Bay State have come out open to tell us that Mieti Allah, with the information we have, is a terrorist organization. But this same Mieti Allah will come boldly on a national television to make demand and talk down on elected governors. They will come boldly and talk down on elected governors. And the presidency will come and support them and tell us that they are stakeholders in the government. A terrorist organization being a stakeholder in a government, what else are you waiting for? What else are you waiting to hear? A terrorist government like Mieti Allah being a stakeholder in the government of the day, that shows you that we are running a terrorist country. That is why we don't want to be part of it. Even the governors in the southeast are taking members of terrorist group and put in their government. That is why we do not respect anybody that calls himself a politician in the southeastern part of Nigeria, more especially the governors. They are a bunch of idiots, bunch of criminals who want to sacrifice us for their own selfish interest. They are ready to sacrifice everybody from the southeastern region for their own selfish interest, and we say no to that. That is why we are standing up to them, and they can see it by the order that our Sunday Igboho MAZI NNAMDI KANU is giving. The IPOB is speaking up on daily basis on behalf of the people. When we say sit at home, they sit at home. When our Sunday Igboho MAZI NNAMDI KANU give order and say sit at home, everybody sit at home. It doesn't matter the propaganda they push. It doesn't matter the threat they send to the people. The people obey because they know what the IPOB is saying is for their own benefit. The instruction that MAZI NNAMDI KANU is giving is for their own benefit. The fight of Sunday Igboho MAZI NNAMDI KANU is for their own benefit. You cannot change the narrative. It doesn't matter how you try. You can't change it. The truth will remain the truth. We will continue to speak up. They have succeeded in hijacking the conventional media. But yet, they can't stop it. They can't stop anything. The lies you are pushing there, it's in the open. It's in the open. It doesn't matter how you pretend to say. Even some people in the north, they don't know when they begin to reveal the truth. They reveal the truth. If you are not careful, you won't know that they are revealing the truth. I would like you to watch what a senator is saying about the contraption called Nigeria, Senator Dume. The information he's giving. Listen to what he has to say.
We are still calling on the Nigerian government to accelerate, because once we hear all these issues of those that are involved directly or indirectly in Boko Haram activities, they should be brought to book and used as an example to deter others. But so far, I think we have not been up and doing on that. That is one side. But you know, again, for example, I am in disagreement with the government on the issue of de-radicalizing and reintegrating. My position is still the same. The executive's position is different, but I still maintain that position. You can't be resettling people, pampering them while the war is not over. I don't know about my other colleagues. My position of the committee is something.
From every indication, you can see that the terrorist organizations have captured Nigeria. They are the one running Nigeria. That is why Biafrans have to be saved. That is why Biafrans have to get out of the contraption now, not tomorrow. Oduduans have to get out now, not tomorrow. The Middle Belters have to get out now, tomorrow. That is the only way to save life. You break it up to save life. We are not asking for a breakup out of hate, out of wickedness, or out of selfishness. We are asking for a breakup to save life so that people can have a life. This is a question of life and death. You have to be alive before you begin to talk of progress even. To save life now, that contraption has to be broken. Broken into pieces so that people will go their separate way, build their border strong, and defend themselves against the terrorists that is already in that very contraption called Nigeria. It is no longer they are coming. They are there already, operating with the help of the Janjaweed government, because they are in the government. That is why we are speaking up and shouting on top of our voices. And you have to use your own platform to speak also. Use your platform to speak, because the conventional media can never report what is happening. The conventional media will not say it the way it is. They have been hijacked and been oppressed. Sometimes I don't blame them, because they are trying the little they can, and they are being shut down, given all manner of fines and all manner of warnings, all manner of threats in their lives. It takes a lot of courage to stand up and speak up about what is happening in Nigeria. When you speak a word, they come after you. That is why the press is now in their hand. Nobody can give right information on what is happening in Nigeria. It's only on social media that you can get some information that are true, exactly the way it is, because nobody controls us and tells us what to say. We say it the way it is, the truth and nothing but the truth, not lie, not a propaganda, exactly the real information. Sometimes we dig it out, even from their own conventional media, dig out the information and dissect it, tell you what it is. That is what we are doing, and we have to continue doing so. Before then, I will share with you a video of somebody who was in the media in the past, what he has to say, the way the media has been decayed, the way the media has been destroyed, and the way the media is no longer serving the people except serving the government. Watch this interview from beginning to end. You get an insight of the trouble that contraption called Nigeria is in, the reason why it has to be broken into pieces so that people will go their separate ways and save themselves. Watch.
Hello, Kevin Ejiofor.
Hello, Manny.
You have really had a wonderful career, and I must congratulate you on that. Come to think of it, this career started in Enugu.
No, I actually went to primary school in Eke, a famous town in what is now called Enugu State. That was where the best teacher in the world, one of the best teachers in the world, came to the class with this thing about government college Ueli. None of us had ever heard the name of Ueli before. But he said it was a government college Ueli, and he said he wanted us to enter for the entrance examination. We did.
Do you recall those early days? Who were youngsters growing up with you at that time?
I'm not sure that, if you are talking about primary school days, I'm not sure that there are any of rock star status, if I may borrow the expression, that you will know. Unfortunately, many of them are dead. Many of them have died. But if you are talking about early days in broadcasting, that's where some names you will recognize occur. Lawrence Emeka, Ebuno Obidike, Sam Weneri, Christopher Mubu, those kinds of people were those who nurtured us. I've been extremely lucky with the kind of people I've met in my life.
And who got you interested in broadcasting?
Oh, wonderful. There's a man called Victor Edguatu. He was working in the old P&T. I was then a clerk in the National Archives Department, which is another story by itself. And he came to our end of year party, and I was emceeing it. He came to pick up his wife, who was our telephone operator. When we finished, he walked up to me and said, I wish I could say it in Igbo. Then we came back, even Emeba, what are you doing here? I said, I work here. I said, what do you mean you are working here? What do you do? I said, I'm a clerk. No, you should not be here at all. You should not be here. The way you are speaking English, you should not be here at all. I'm going to see someone and tell him about you. He came back the very next day and said, an advertisement is coming up in the Daily Times on Thursday. Make sure you apply. As they say, the rest is history.
And
I applied.
Since after then, you have done 50 years of a successful professional career.
Well, 50 years were not all continuous. From that time, I did 18 years in broadcasting. Left broadcasting at the time. I'm glad I left. I left broadcasting in 1985 to join the then Anambra State, which is now made up of now Enugu, Ebonyi, and Anambra, as a head of the information arm of the ministry. I was Chief Information Officer, Director of Information for 4 years. And then from there, I was invited to join Cadbury. At that time, Dr. Christopher Kolode was the managing director. I joined Cadbury and worked in Cadbury till 1997. At 60, I had to retire. I retired and started my own information company in Lagos. I was there when the great Adiro insisted I must come and join him back into radio 21 years after. And I told him that I liked what he was doing, and he was going a little more away from the beaten path of radio.
What was he doing at that time that you liked?
He was showing a level of independence which government stations did not usually show. He was a man slightly ahead of his time or before his time, I don't know how to put it, but he had the courage, and I should say perhaps the president at the time, or Obasanjo, had the personal confidence to let him run on his own. He used to say openly on radio that Radio Nigeria was not a PDP organ. It was not. It was the Nigerian people's station. He used to say it openly to the hearing of everybody.
You eventually became the acting Director General at the FRCN.
Yes. I had worked for 4 years as Executive Director, FRCN Enugu Zonal Station, as it was known, in charge of the old Eastern region and all that, and the stations, and the station in Enugu. As I was just finishing that, his own job finished, and I was then invited to come and act in the position as Director General.
And you remained an actor and left. But the fact is, are you disappointed that you did not become a substantive Director General?
No, I did not become a substantive. As I told you, at that point in time when I was invited to act as Director General, I was 68 years old.
Let me read out a quote in one of the national dailies that talked about your 1 year in office as acting Director General. It said, Ejiofor opened up the FRCN, attracting good hands from the private sector, filling key positions in several important directorates, and noticing that the BBC, Voice of America, and other foreign broadcast media were talking to our people in our languages and winning their minds, he proposed and pushed for the actualization of a national language channel, whereby the leaders and the led will talk to each other in their first language across the length and breadth of the country. How does that make you feel?
A bit sad that I know it was deliberately truncated by certain interests. But you see, the background to that was that as head of what used to be UTNA, which I changed and restructured and now became the Broadcasting Union of Africa, UAB, or whatever they call it now. I removed all the weight around the place, working with the South Africans and the Algerians, and of course with Dr. Tony Redia. We changed UTNA and made it a little more compact and more effective. But then in interacting with South Africans, with Indians, with people from New Zealand and so on, during some of these Commonwealth Broadcasting conferences, I found that Radio Nigeria was not in a position to be competitive unless we did something about it, something radical about it. And all that, promoting the most senior to become the next director of programs or next director of this, was not going to cut it. So I took 2 papers to the Federal Executive Council. One was to restructure Radio Nigeria at the time, FRCN. At that point in time, the agitations in the South were becoming quite noticeable. We didn't have a presence in the South. We didn't have a presence in the Northeast. So I restructured the FRCN and created the Northeast position, created the South Directorate, and wanted to bring all the directors to headquarters. They shouldn't be in the zones to make policy and so on and so forth. And then it happened that just at that time, my minister went to the House of Lords to talk about things concerning Nigeria. When he came out, the BBC Hausa service cornered him and interviewed him in Hausa because he had grown up in Maiduguri and he spoke Hausa, fluent Hausa. So they interviewed him in Hausa. When he came back, I went up to his office. I was quite upset. And I said to him, look, you went to the BBC. The rest of Nigeria don't know what you did there. The BBC Hausa service will put whatever spin they like on that and feed it to the Hausa listening population in Nigeria. What happens to the rest of us? That led me to bringing out a paper for him to take to council. He was a bit reluctant, but he took me along. And I presented the paper to council. I'm not sure I want to go into what happened.
Kevin, many people would have forgotten that you, alongside Ernest Okonkwo, Sebastian Oforom, and a few others, was one of the most versatile radio commentators we've ever produced in Nigeria. Remind me of those challenging days that you were running football commentaries.
You know, I was originally employed as an announcer. Much as I admired announcers, I thought it was a boring thing, and so I left it. I was put in outside broadcast for a while. That's the time you're referring to. And I kept doing that till I left. But I had left all that commentating, and I was in features and drama for a long time. But let's go back to commentating. Ernest Okonkwo, the great Ernest Okonkwo, was, of course, took over from the great Ishola Folorunsho. And it was a most wonderful time. For one thing, on a personal level, it enabled me to travel the world with our teams, because we had great teams at that time. And we went all over Africa, and even sometimes out of Africa. And I went to Moscow for the Olympic Games and all of that. So it was a very exciting time. And we had great people. As you said, Ernest Okonkwo, Yinka Craig, Dele Adetiba, Sebastian Oforum, and all those kinds of people. And people like Fabio Lanikbeku, I don't know. I hope he kept something. He was the reservoir of all information. Oladele Bankolemo and Ernest himself didn't have written form, but he remembered everything, every minute of everything that happened in outside broadcasts. And it was when I went to the BBC that I found that we were doing far more than we should do as commentators, because they had people, at that time it was a filofax. There was no computer at that time. Your filofax manager was sitting behind you and gave you all the facts that you would inject into your commentary. If you scored a goal, the man will tell you that's his 4th goal for the season. He has 4 children, and he comes from, and all of that. And you'll be just be repeating box. But in our time, we had to do all of that, remember all of that by ourselves, make our notes, find the information. It was a very exciting time.
Pick a question.
I have a question here that says, what are the areas you think media can be improved in their reportage?
Yep.
I think my answer to that question is that there should be more interest in the people of Nigeria. Today, you see reporters who come to a place where there has been a disaster, and they're waiting there for the fire service head or for the commissioner for environment or this or that. The people who are affected, you see very little of them. And you can see the BBC and all these foreign stations are cashing in on that absence. There is now BBC Igbo, there's BBC Pidgin, and they follow the daily experiences of Nigerians. If you do that today, I suppose people won't get mad. I don't know why they are not doing it. There should be more interest in the daily life of the Nigerian experience, rather than what we started calling before I left, the he said, she said journalism. The commissioner said.
What do you think of the opinion of some people that FRCN and NTA should no longer belong to government?
I don't think it's even necessary. What is necessary is for government to move back a little. I'll give you an example. In New Zealand, it happened that government said, you fellows, we are no longer interested in owning you. Yes. Go and fend for yourselves. I was chairman of a panel in South Africa that investigated public service broadcasting. It's not necessary for government, but if they want to do it, it will be good. But it's not going to add a kobo now that we've decentralized. Let them just pull out back a little bit and allow those stations to compete on their own.
Hang on, you've had a very busy career. And how did you find a woman that you called your wife?
Manny, you are breaking an agreement. I told you I don't do personal questions. I didn't find her. We found ourselves. Well, no, we found ourselves.
And 7 children after?
Yes, thank heavens. They came in 2 batches. My first wife passed. The other one, I had 3 children. The first had 4. So 7 children.
Obviously, you're benefiting from the lot. I was just only wondering if any one of them is, into broadcasting or communication out.
Yes. Just one, the second to the last one, a boy, is working with an FM station in Enugu here.
Kevin, people are wondering at 84, will you ever retire? I mean, I understand now that you are Director General of WABMA.
Yeah, it's a kind of, well, it's not a 9 to 5 everyday job. So, but I enjoy it. It keeps me in touch with young people, and it keeps me in touch with my home profession, which is broadcasting. It's very interesting to know, to watch the directions it's going, the kind of gadgets they now have to aid them, and to learn how to use those things. Some of it, not every one of it, but it's very interesting that one keeps learning, keeps guiding. The principles remain the same, but the aids, the dominance of the internet and ICT is the new thing for us.
What makes you really dizzy about Nigeria?
There are no people in Nigeria anymore. There are no people in Nigeria anymore. There are Igbos, there are Yorubas, there are Jukuns, there are Fulani, there are Hausa, but no people anymore. Everybody is identified by his state, or by his religion, or by his car, or his house. The genus man is disappearing in Nigeria. Man, you knew, you met a bit of Nigeria at Aburi, on Obalande Road. I wasn't a great regular there, but you met them there.
Yes.
You worked with people for 10 years. You didn't know where they came from, except it was very obvious. I wish I was more able to be in a place where I could point at some of the people I'm looking today who are messing up the country and say to them, let me give you an example. In 1982, the Umaru Duke came to commission to be our guest in Radio Nigeria at the tennis court. I was the MC. And I asked him, sir, you are a very powerful minister. Do you have anybody, your mother, your wife, or your friend, or whoever, who can tell you, Alaji, that thing you said yesterday is nonsense? Everybody was terrified, but he was very grateful for the question. And he said to me, I live in Okoyi, I live in a huge house where there is a huge sitting room. By the time I get there, there will be about 200 people. As I walk through the door, everybody is groveling on the floor. But they come to me one by one. No one is talking about the needs of Nigeria. Everybody is talking about their need. Nobody tells me about my job. Nobody tells me whether I have done well or not.
Kevin.
Our country lacks people who can tell people that kind of thing.
Let's cast you away to an island for 10 days. Would like to know what are the 5 important items you take along with you. Not a wife, not a child, just 5 items you take along with you to this island.
My exercise mat.
Yep.
My books, some books. I would take a ukwa.
Ukwa?
And yes.
Do you eat a lot of that?
Huh?
Do you eat a lot of that these days?
Not a lot, but regularly, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Excellent.
What about this? Is that okay? Am I phone? Is this get it at home? Yes, that one also now. What else would I miss at home? Pictures of my children.
Yep.
And grandchildren especially.
Excellent. Excellent. Can I ask you, Kevin, what would you be reflecting on, in that period of time, 10 days?
What I would most be the sad state of my country that I love. You know, there was a book once called, that brought a lot of controversy, by Chinua Achebe called There Was a Country. I will be reflecting on There Was Nigeria. And before our very eyes, if we don't take time, Nigeria, even now, the Nigeria I knew, I'll give you an example. I always give this example. I arrived in Ibadan from secondary school to start work at the National Archives. The first person I met was a Yoruba man. I asked about a certain Igbo man whom I knew was working in Ibadan. The Yoruba man knew him because they were working together in the railway, brought out 1 shilling and a 6pence, gave to another boy to take me to the house in Ijebu Pass in Ibadan at his own expense. He didn't know me. He didn't know my name. He didn't know anything about me. He wasn't worried. And no questions asked. He gave me assistance, gave me somebody to take me. 1 shilling and 6pence was for taxi. The taxi cost 1 shilling, 6pence per drop in Ibadan those days. So 1 shilling to take the boy and I, and 6pence to bring him back. He paid from his own pockets. That was the Nigeria I knew. I got a job before I wrote school certificates. In November 1957, I was interviewed in Government College, Jueli, and employed to work in the National Archives. By the time we finished school certificate and the results came out by February, I was working in Ibadan. So there was a country. I will be ruminating on what one I can contribute to, anybody I know can contribute to bring back Nigeria.
Kevin, it's been nice talking with you.
I hope so.
We are very proud of you. And long may you live.
Thank you. But please don't go the way they go with all these politicians. It's a nice for you to have me on your show. Thank you very much.
After listening to this very man, you can agree with me that it is not all well. It is high time you speak up. If you cannot speak, share the video. Go to every platform. Send the video to every platform. When you see the video of the agitators, Biafran agitators, Oduduwa agitators, Middle-Belt agitators, people who are speaking up for indigenous tribe in that very country called Nigeria, share the video so that people will see it. Let it go viral. Let the world hear their voice on what is going on. Because the media cannot report the situation of things. We have to be on top of the game. They can't change the narrative. We will not allow them. It doesn't matter what they try. We cannot allow them. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to strengthen all the agitators wherever they may be. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to strengthen all the Biafrans wherever they may be. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to strengthen all the Oduduwas wherever they may be. Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to strengthen all the Middle-Belt and everyone that is genuinely fighting for the struggle of their restoration of their own freedom. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect them. More especially, our Sunday Igboho Nnamdi Kanu. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect him. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect Sunday Igboho wherever he is. Set Sunday Igboho free, secure him, give him good health and strengthen him. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to protect our Sunday Igboho Nnamdi Kanu. Bring him back to us very soon. Give him more revelation, give him good health, give him strength so that he can come out stronger than ever and we will walk into Biafra and celebrate with him. Thank you so much for watching, wherever you are watching from. And remember, bye-bye. See you again on the next video.